Previously in Run Sailing, we visited the last ABC island, Aruba. Then we set off towards South America and Santa Marta, Colombia. The passage is 280 nautical miles long, and our first day went by fast, and after the sun had set, we started with our night shifts.
Finally, we were sailing. We were having pretty weak winds, around 9-10 knots of wind, doing 5 knots. Well, that's alright. At least we're sailing, not going by motor. Yeah, just when we turned off the motor, everything went dark on the boat. I didn't realize it, but earlier today when we were leaving the dock, I was using the bow thruster. I was trying to, and it turns out that the main fuse for all the batteries isn't big enough for the bow thruster. The bow thruster is on 3 horsepower, and that the main fuse was only on 120 amps. So, because it stopped working when we left the dock, and I thought, okay, I burned the fuse for the solenoid for the bow thruster, but it turned out it was the main fuse for all the batteries. But I didn't realize that because we've been going by motor all day, so power was still available from the generator through the starting battery. But now when we started sailing and I turned off the motor, everything went black. The autopilot stopped working, and all the instruments and all the lights and the fridge and everything in the boat just stopped. So yeah, now I have solved it temporarily. I bought a new fuse just before we left Curacao, but I haven't had time to fix it yet. It's a 400 amp fuse, but now when I try to use that instead, it turns out that it's like a 0.5 millimeter too short, so I couldn't use it. I guess it's because it's an American inch fuse, and the one we have from Europe is in millimeters. So now I've just solved it temporarily, and we'll have to deal with that when we come to the marina in Santa Marta. So yeah, there's always something happening. But it feels great to be sailing now. There's a lot of thunder and lightning. We're pretty close to the shore here, Colombia, the peninsula. And I know that there's a mountain range there. So I guess all this humid air is being pushed up the mountains there, because you can see a lot of thunder and lightning. It's 8 o'clock now, and I guess we're going to start with some watches in an hour or so. I hope it will stay this calm tonight. It's pretty nice just to glide through the darkness.
No more incidents happened during the night, and as the sun rose, we got company by a pod of dolphins. The morning of our second day at sea. We are now in Colombian waters. So during the night we rounded the peninsula of Guajira, and we have now turned a little bit more to the southwest, pretty much sailing along the coastline, and of course a bit further out. And yeah, we put a waypoint just outside Santa Marta, and we will be there in around 24 hours. We have around 165 nautical miles left. Still very light winds, so we are motoring.
Yeah, Colombia is pretty different from most other countries, at least the ones we have been visiting so far, in their check-in procedures. You need to have an agent to do all your paperwork towards the authorities. So that's why we're heading for Santa Marta, because the marina there, they will take care of this agent thing, and if you stay longer than a week, I think it is, it's for free. You still need to pay for the permits, cruising permits and stuff like that, but you don't have to pay for the agent if you go to this marina. So that's nice. But yeah, the bad thing as a cruiser here is that every time you move the boat, at least outside the different districts, you need to hire another agent to do your paperwork once again, and that can be pretty expensive. I think if you go just to another place where you don't go to a marina, I think it's around $400, the agent and permits that you need, just a normal check-in, so that's quite a lot. Yeah, so it's a bit of a pity this with the paperwork here in Colombia, but we just have to do the best of it, and maybe we can find a loophole in the regulations somewhere. We'll see when we get there. But according to the guide that we got from a Swedish boat we met in Aruba, this is the way it is. So, but anyway, it's going to be really, really cool to come to Colombia. I think it's going to be fantastic country and a lot different from the Caribbean, and also it's going to be cool to be back on mainland. It's been many months since we visited mainland with Rob. I think it was latest when we were in Lisbon, actually, in Portugal.
Over there is Cabo de la Vela, a small village in the desert landscape of Guajira. It's possible to anchor there and stay with the Q flag, but we decided to go straight to Santa Marta. Lunchtime. Couscous salad. It's hot down there. In the afternoon, the wind picked up, so we hoisted the sails and switched off the motor, and it got so silent. 9 and 10 knots of wind, doing 5.5 knots of speed, almost no waves. I like that. Jag kan ju landa på fader, kan det vara här? Oj! Han slog vingen i staget. Ja. Ja.
Even before the sun went down, we could see lightning in the sky, and little did we know that a few hours later we would be sailing in the worst thunderstorm we encountered so far, luckily without high winds. When we crossed the Atlantic last year, we had a lot of thunder, and could see lightning crisscrossing the sky many nights, but luckily it was always pretty far away from us. This night the thunder was right above and around us, and we could see the lightning hitting the water close by.
We prepared ourselves to get hit by lightning and couldn't do much but waiting. It was a bit nerve-wracking, and even if I was down below, I couldn't miss the white light shining through the windows. A sailing family we know got hit by lightning along the Colombian coast a few weeks earlier, and their boat sustained damage on all their electrical systems. We were so lucky that we didn't get hit, and we're thankful that we can sail on. We didn't get much sleep last night. Oh, it was tiring. We were surrounded by thunder and lightnings. We had lightning striking all around the boat. Could really see it hit the water. Oh, I was scared that it would hit us. I was just waiting for it to hit us. But it never happened, thankfully. But the wind was shifting, it was dying. In the middle of it all, we ran out of diesel and we only have 1 jerrycan left. So we filled the diesel tank up with the last jerrycan, but we only have 21 liters left. So we needed to start sailing even if there was no wind. So it has been so slow this night. Been doing 3-4 knots of speed, and winds were just shifting from side to side. So we've been up I don't know how many times on deck to arrange the sails. Maiwan is super tired, he's sleeping right now. But we're closing in on Santa Marta. We have like 25 nautical miles left into the marina in the city, and now we're actually sailing along the world's highest coastal mountain range, Sierra Nevada. I mean, you cannot really see it, it's like hidden in the clouds, but I can see some mountains here on the coast. It's nice to see land again. It's gonna be nice to arrive. It's gonna be nice to be in a marina also for a change. It's a different kind of boat life in a marina, and a lot of our friends are already there. That would be fun to meet them again. Now we're actually doing 4 to 5 knots. Yoo-hoo! The wind is coming from, we have it like 110 degrees from port side. It's coming from like the east. 6 to 8 knots of wind. We have both sails on starboard side. The morning of our third day, we only had a couple of more hours until reaching the marina in Santa Marta. We sailed along the Tayrona National Park, and the lush nature could be seen even from Ron.
So we're closing in on Santa Marta and we have about, I don't know, 3-4 nautical miles to go. We're using our reserve diesel now because, yeah, as Malin told you before, we ran out of diesel, or our normal diesels. There's no wind at the moment, so we're going by motor in the last couple of miles here. Yeah, this night has been, everything has happened this night. A lot of lightning and thunder. We ran out of diesel, or not ran out of diesel, we still have diesel, like 20 liters. That's what we're using now. And what else? Yeah, this morning the sailing has been quite good. So I'm really looking forward to visiting Colombia now. It's going to be cool. So we have prepared with lines and everything, fenders on both sides, spring lines on both sides, and yeah, lines everywhere, because we don't know what kind of slip we'll get when we get in. We will call the marineros in there in a couple of minutes.
What a welcome! Dolphins!
Passing between the mainland and that small island over there, and it's a pretty strong current here. I guess it's like, I don't know, 2 knots, 2.5 maybe. We're going to go around here, and the marina should be over there. Sailing vessel Ron. Marina Santa Marta, this is sailing vessel Ron. Coming into the marina, we waved to our friends, and some were even moored on the same dock. After 51 hours, we had arrived to Colombia.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We always appreciate a thumbs up, so please give us one if you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching and see you next week.